6:52. I would like to call to order the meeting of the Easton Conservation Commission. This meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board commission members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count towards quorum. The meeting may be broadcast live and will be recorded on ECAT. Could we please have a roll call vote for attendance?
Rossman present.
Goodman present.
And Vecchio present. Wonderful, thank you all. We'd like to open up with general public comment. If there's anyone here for general public comment, please raise your hand and I will promote you. All right, seeing none, we'd like to move on to hearings and possible deliberations. First up, we have 22 Douglas. And Collins Engineering. Got you right here. Peter, how we doing tonight?
Hey everybody, you hear me, see me?
We got you fine.
Awesome. I will pull up the plan and we'll jump into this.
Thank you so much.
Be short and sweet with them. I only have one for you tonight. The first one's an RDA. 22 Douglas. Want me to jump in?
Jump right on in.
Cool. For the record, Peter Lyons with Collins Civil Engineering Group. We're here tonight for an RDA pertaining to the removal of an in-ground pool, pool patio area, and pool shed within the 50-foot resource area of a BVW and within the 100-foot in a riparian zone to a stream on the western portion of the property. The stream is delineated as flags 1 through 14, mean high water, and a BVW is indicated by WF1 through WF16, ending at the bottom of the slope at the MHW flags. I'm going to zoom in a little closer to where we're working, and basically our proposal here, I'll start working from the resource. So the red is our sedimentation control line, or our work limit. Basically, the site access is going to be from the right side of the house. There's an existing area between the house and the tree line, which will provide our access to the rear. So again, they're looking to remove the shed, patio area, and in-ground pool. There will be no proposed changes in grading. This right now is all impervious features, approximately 1,640 square feet to be removed, basically leveled, loam, and seeded. Couple quick numbers here. The sedimentation control in this corner is as close as 11 feet to the MHW flags. Existing pool is existing patio is 14 feet off the flag. So it's kind of tough to see on this plan. The yellow line is an existing chain link fence. So the fence is basically going to be our work limit. The sedimentation control is going to be placed just outside the fence. So everything's going to be removed, and then towards the end of the project, the fence will be removed.
Okay.
So that basically encompasses all of our work. A couple other things looking at the site. The bold red areas are some washed out soils that are basically just proposed to be stabilized, raked out, loam, and seeded with a grass mix. And then down to the south in the woods and on the edge of the BVW, there's approximately 600 square feet of some debris and timbers in this area that the staff report requested be removed from the area. So basically that stuff's to be removed, and we're proposing a couple clusters of blueberry bushes and then an upland seed mix to revegetate the area. We've proposed 8 conservation posts at the limit of work on the work portion of the project, and then we pick it up on the existing tree line for the rest of the property and end up front by WF1. A couple notes with this project. Our sedimentation control is proposed as a 12-inch filter mitt staked every 6 feet. Connection details for that shown, just doubled up. Quick numbers. This is actually a large site. It's 4.4 acres. So we have the primary portion, and then it tees off to the rear, all undeveloped, mostly wetland in the back. That being said, the total on-site riverfront area, which is the whole lot, is 170,000 square feet. Proposed disturbance is entirely in the inner riparian zone, listed at 4,500 square feet, 4,000 of which is within the 100-foot wetland buffer. And again, just a quick area on that, we're looking at approximately 1,640 square feet of impervious features to be removed. That's pretty much what we got. Any questions or concerns from the commission on this one?
Thank you, Peter. I would like to ask, isn't this technically more of a NOI instead of a RDA? Because I understand it's in the bordered vegetated wetland, but it seems like some sort of kind of gray area.
Yeah, honestly, I guess maybe Jennifer could speak on that. I believe we sent a draft to the commission asking if we could do an NOI or an RDA, and it was determined an RDA was appropriate, to my knowledge.
Jennifer?
Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, everyone. I don't know what's going on. My computer is still actually buffering with the password. So I'm on the phone right now. So sorry. Thank you. Phil, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
It actually is a notice of intent. So it may have been discussed as an RDA in the beginning, but it was filed as a notice of intent, and DEP gave a file number and some comments.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's what I thought. I think the agenda has it listed as an RDA.
It does.
We have right on the plan, it's a notice of intent. So sorry, that caught me a little off guard, but yes, it is a notice.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
think I put it on the agenda early on when we were first talking about it, and then once it got filed, I just didn't change. I didn't note it. I didn't think to change the agenda, so that was probably my fault.
Okay. Any other staff comments, Jennifer?
There were a number of plan revisions, but they were all made. DEP had comments; those were also addressed, and there is an actual restoration plan. So this project has all the information you need in order to close. Thank you.
Any comments or questions from any of the members of the commission? All right, seeing none, I'd like to ask if there are any public comments for 22 Douglas.
Just Peter, maybe stop sharing, please.
Sorry. There you go.
Thanks, Peter. All right, seeing no public comments, I believe we've met other requirements. I'd like to move to close the public hearing on 22
Second.
Douglas. Vecchio motion, Goodman second. Roll call vote.
Rossman, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Vecchio, aye. Move to issue the order conditions. Jen, do you want to help me out with this one?
Yep, it's moved to issue the order of conditions and permit for work.
So moved.
Second. Crossman motion, Vecchio second. Roll call vote.
Rossman, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Vecchio, aye. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you all. Have a great night.
Thanks,
too.
Peter.
All right, we're going to continue on to continued hearings and possible deliberations. I'd like to introduce the folks from 41 Hamden Drive. I believe this is a request for abbreviated notice of resource area delineation. Anyone here for 41 Hampton Drive?
I saw Scott Daggett in the audience, but I don't have controls to allow him in.
I gotcha.
Thank you.
Brett Holmes also raised his hand.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, members of the commission. Brad Holmes with ECR, assisting Farland Corp. on this ANRAD. Scott Daggett should be on.
Just promoted him.
Great.
Scott, if you're here,
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was muted.
You're fine. We can hear you. We can't see you.
All right. My name is Scott Daggett from Farland Corp., representing Parallel Products Solar Energy. And what we are here to present today is an ANRAD to get the wetland line approved so that we can go ahead and file a notice of intent for the proposed work that we plan on doing. I assume you probably have copies of the plan, but I will share my screen just in case.
If you could, that would be very helpful.
Certainly. Okay, can you see my screen?
Looks like it's loading. There we go.
Okay, so 41 Hampton Drive, as it exists, is a auto repair shop. They currently repair tractor trailers, not the tractors themselves, but the actual trailers. So there's a number of trailers that are stored on site. The wetlands that were delineated are highlighted as, let me see, I got them all color coordinated here. Line, let's see, I believe it's a green line. So on the site, there's a number of resource areas. There's potential vernal pools. There's bordering vegetated wetlands. There's also, I believe there are possible streams that were flagged. And based on our previous hearing, I now have an updated flood zone with elevation that was requested as a result of not showing it properly at the last hearing. So this plan now has that updated resource area. So what we're here is we just want to get this line approved so that we can go ahead and eventually file a notice of intent. So the existing site does have some areas in which the work is within some of the buffer zones. I believe this site has been in operation for close to 40 years. So their day-to-day activities have been occupying some of the space within the 100-foot buffer zone to the vernal pool, or to the vernal pool buffer zone, actually, I'll say, and also within some of the other resource areas.
Yeah, so thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Just telling us the revisions that were made from the last meeting is helpful. That's really all we need to do tonight, but thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott. Any questions or concerns from members of the commission? All right. Jen, any staff comments or?
No, all the changes we requested at the last meeting have been made and are on the revised plan.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then any public comment? All right. Seeing none, I would like to motion to issue an order of resource area delineation under the WPA and local bylaws.
Okay, and just close the hearing.
Crossman second. Oh,
Motion to close the hearing first.
That's good.
Crossman second.
Grossman second. Vecchio motion. Roll call vote.
Crossman aye.
Goodman, aye.
Vecchio aye. Now I'd like to motion to issue an order of resource area delineation under the WPA and local bylaws.
Second.
Vecchio motion. Goodman second. Roll call vote.
Crossman aye.
Goodman, aye.
Vecchio aye.
Great.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You too.
Scott, I'd just like to say thanks for sticking with us through our technical difficulties.
Ah.
Appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you.
Next up, we'll do 8 Washington Street, which is a notice of intent on the construction of a child care facility. Anyone here for that?
Deepak should be here.
Oop. We'll try that one more time, Deepak. Deepak, if you can hear me, we can't hear you or see you.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, still can't see you.
Okay. Can you see me now?
There we go. How are we
Okay.
doing tonight?
Very good.
Um, from our last meeting, we had a site visit that happened over the last few weeks. And I know Jen had asked for some calculations for ILSF. For that, we need to get the survey done, and that is in progress, I should say. So I just wanted to go over the site visits and what our findings were during that.
Okay.
So Jen, you had in your email, you had mentioned regarding the vernal pools that you had not found any evidence of vernal pools, and then over time, I sent in the updates on the wetlands itself. Few days ago, they were completely dry. There was no water in those wetlands. So I think we need to figure out what's the impact from that site visit to our project.
Correct. And so we're waiting for the engineer to pick up the flags that Brad and I agreed on for isolated land subject to flooding. The engineer was putting that on the plan and providing the ILSF calcs, as you mentioned.
Right.
That's the next step.
That's the next step. So are we past the vernal pool step? Because we said we'll go step at a time, right?
You could say that for this
Okay.
year. There certainly were not any vernal pool species observed within the isolated land subject to flooding. We are in a drought, which does impact how much water can be found in wetlands and isolated land subject to flooding. But it
Right.
is correct, I did not observe the species this year.
Yeah, so Brad and I have been observing the wetlands for the last 3 years. You know, we got the property in 24, we observed it then 25 and 26. So we have seen the same pattern. I know you have mentioned that we are still in drought kind of thing. So I don't know if things will change, but from our observations over the last 3 years, it dries up middle of April. And I mean, that's what I have observed. So,
And that means what the flooding would dry up.
Yeah.
So we're looking for the boundary of it and where the jurisdictional area would be, and to see what work is proposed within those areas and whether those meet performance standards that are listed in Wetland Protection Act and the bylaw.
okay. So, I know in parallel we also have the planning and zoning application going on, and I have a meeting with them on the 11th, I think, May 11th. So, is there anything that I can take from this meeting to them with any updates, or what do I say in that?
No, in the, I think we mentioned this, until we have the isolated land subject to flooding calculations from the surveyor.
Yeah.
There's not much more we can do in the interim.
Okay. Okay. So, so I guess we can't do much at this point till we get those calculations.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. You had mentioned about the peer review. happening.
Mhm.
But that'll happen after all the calculations and the site plan has been updated.
That's also what the peer review engineer would be reviewing.
Okay, all right, so he would need that as well. So,
Correct.
so that is one thing. I had a question regarding, cleaning up the site. They want to do spring cleaning. Can we now do that, or do we still wait on?
You probably have to be really specific on what you mean by spring cleaning.
I mean, there's been down trees and branches and leaves left over from winters that they want to clean up.
If it's in the grassed lawn area, that's not a wetland or an isolated land subject to flooding.
Okay.
You would need to be more specific on what you're trying to do in those jurisdictional areas.
So within that area, we are not touching anything. It's outside the area that we need to clean up. I mean, there's,
That,
there's
is how it
stuff
sounds.
that blows, there's stuff that blows from Washington Street, that ends up in that area, so they just need to clean it up. Is that okay, or should I?
Yeah, again, we did sort of talk about this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the site. So you have that.
Again, Jennifer, you're kind of breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, we can't.
I think Jennifer's having some more difficulties there.
May want to like get out of the meeting and come back in. It's like she's stuck.
Yeah. Well, Deepak, as Jen was saying, it sounds like this was a discussion you guys already had before. Just would be very careful cleaning up anything inside those ILSF areas, other wetland areas.
Okay.
And then we're doing a continuation, right?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yes,
I
we are.
assume at this point you would like to continue on to our next meeting, which I believe is
May 11th.
May 11th.
Yeah.
So you would like to move forward with a continuation?
Yes, please.
Awesome. I don't believe that's something that we need to vote on.
Yeah.
Um,
A motion to continue. We usually do that.
Yeah.
Get a motion to continue.
Second.
Vashio motion. Crossman second. Roll call vote.
Crossman, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Vashio aye. All right, Deepak, thank you so much, and we'll see you on the 11th. Hopefully by then we'll get some good information from the engineers.
All right. Thank you so much.
Have a great night.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you too. Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to certificates of compliance. Naturally, we need Jen for this one. Jennifer, have you had a chance to refresh?
I
She's-
did. Can you hear me?
We can hear
Yes.
you.
We can hear.
Okay. It won't let me put the video on. It says the host disabled my video.
I just keep it off. That way you have more bandwidth. That's all.
Right? Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, it happens to the best. So we ended up motion to continue for 8 Washington Street. We're moving
Okay, thank
on
you.
to
I came on
certificates of compliance.
the end of that. Good, thank you. So both of those are for the same property, even though they have different addresses because
Yep.
the lot was split. No work has started for either one of those wetland permits. They're trying to sell the property and would like to close them out and have clean title. So it's okay to issue a full certificate for both of those with no work starting on either permit.
And for the record, that is 584 Foundry Street and 572 Foundry Street. Can we do a joint motion?
Sure.
Perfect. I'll motion to approve for a full COC on both 584 Foundry Street and 572 Foundry Street.
Second.
So moved.
Perfect. We'll do a Goodman motion, Crossman second. Roll call vote.
Crossman, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Vashio aye. All right. Board discussions. request to transfer wetland protection and bylaw funds to the department budget for fiscal year 27.
Correct. So you received an email, or not an email, a memo requesting the transfer of about $21,000 out of both the Wetland Protection Fund and the Bylaw Fees Fund. That'll be transferred for purposes directly related to administering the Wetland Protection Act. So currently, well, I should say, last year for Wetland Protection Act, it was requested to transfer $27,187 toward the personnel account.
Mhm.
They're requesting an additional $10,984 for fiscal year 27, which means right now you would only have $4,000 and some change left in that account if you approve it. The bylaw fees, they requested $30,813 from fiscal year 26. They're requesting an additional almost $11,000 for fiscal year 27, which means that account, if you approved the additional transfer of funds, would be about $6,500 left in that account.
And so Jen, in the first account, what is our typical funding source for replenishment for that account?
Both of these are only from wetland filing fees.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Great question.
And what are they attributed the increases to? Other than, obviously, we know cost of everything are up, but
Yeah,
is there anything?
of everything. I think they're trying to reduce the amount of funding they need to request at town meeting by
Sure.
being able to transfer some of the filing fees into the personnel line item. And by law, they have to request, and the commission has to approve that transfer. Those funds are only administered by the Conservation Commission and for direct administration of Wetland Protection Act or the bylaw. So you would have to approve transferring those funds. And there's a whole Department of Revenue guidance document on what the funds can be used for, and transferring funding for personnel is one of those allowed uses.
I mean, quick, take a temperature of the room. I feel like it would be worth it, especially get some help around with a lot of the admin tasks.
Yeah,
How does
helps.
everyone else feel about it?
Yeah, it helps Jennifer, and it's, like you said, it's replenished with fees. So I mean, they're low now, but it will, they will replenish themselves over time, and the idea is to use them as they are called to be used, and if this fits the criteria, then we should do it, I think.
Well, I generally wouldn't. I'd want to do like a deep dive and find out more about this, but where I looked at it quickly and looked at, as you said, Nate, the parameters of the use, I'm comfortable where it sort of pigeonholes it into, only those things that, it can be used. It can't just go into the general fund for whatever. So I'd be comfortable making the transfers.
Right? Yeah, same here. I think, like I said, it's going to be a great thing. Obviously, can't speak for Ben or Mike, but I don't see it being too big of an issue. So, Jennifer, do we make a motion to vote to approve the requested $21,000 being transferred?
Correct.
So moved.
Second. Perfect. We'll do Crossman motion. Yeah. Vecchio second. Roll call vote.
Crossman, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Vecchio, aye.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone had a chance to review the meeting minutes from last meeting 4/6/2026?
I did, Mr. Acting Chair, and I found them to be accurate and in order to the best of my memory.
Perfect. Would you like to make a motion?
Motion to accept the meeting minutes as proposed on this agenda.
Second. Good motion. Vecchio second. Roll call vote.
Crossman, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Vecchio, aye. CPC updates, nothing spectacular. Yeah, nothing really released for
No.
the Conservation Commission that I remember.
anything big over there in general, any larger projects, or what's the consensus for stuff for this year?
So big thing that we've been doing is working on the oh my gosh. I'm forgetting the name of the building, which is awful. We reviewed kind of like the fiscal year 2027 budget, doing a lot of things with. This is quite embarrassing. What's the building next to the library?
The Oak
Yeah,
Games
Oak Games
Memorial.
Hall.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. I've only lived here.
We won't tell them you
way too
forgot.
many long. Yeah, no one will see this, right?
No,
Lots of
not?
big roofing project with Oak Games Memorial Hall. So CPC voted to approve some funds to get, I believe it was a third phase of a 5-phase renovation to Oak
Yep.
Games Hall. So yeah, it's fun. It's exciting stuff, but sadly nothing really for the Conservation Commission, at least at this time. I'm going to say there's no chair updates, other than I really enjoyed doing this today. So thanks for entertaining me.
Yep. Good job.
Jennifer, thank you. I appreciate it. Jennifer, any environmental planner updates?
Just two. It's just an update that 409, 413, 425 Turnpike Street just still haven't paid their filing fees, just to keep you updated on that.
Okay.
And this Saturday, May 2nd, the Natural Resources Trust has their Spring Farm Festival.
I'll go. Do you have
Awesome.
any chats or graphs you need me to bring?
I'm sorry?
I said, do you have any chats or graphs that you need me to bring? Usually you have something.
We do. I have the entire back seat of the car is full of pamphlets and books and things from our friends at the forestry program in West Boylston. So I will actually also be there. We have an arborist who will do 2 demonstrations, one at 11 and one at 1 p.m. Yeah.
What time's this thing kicking off?
I'm sorry. What
What
time?
Yeah.
I think 10.
But yeah, I believe it is 10 to 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's on the agenda. Yeah, 10 to 2. I'll probably be there, earlier, 9:15, 9:30 or so, just to start setting things up.
Okay. Well, I can be there. You got me from like 10 to 12:30.
Okay.
But I can be there if you need me to take the stuff early, or if you're gonna be there to set it up, whatever. I mean, I'll be there. I'll be there like 9:30.
Okay.
Nate, thank you again for doing that. Sadly,
My role.
Something
That's
I've had
my
on the books
job.
for a while.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, at least
Very-
that's going. That's awesome.
I'm like the Peyton Pritchard, right? He shoots threes. I go to NIT festivals.
That's great. Awesome.
And that's it for updates for me.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Any pertinent items not reasonably anticipated by the chair? All right. I would like to motion to adjourn the meeting.
Crossman second.
That's your motion. Crossman second. Roll call vote.
Crossman aye.
Goodman, aye.
Vashio aye. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good night.
See
Good
what
luck,
happens
Jen.
with the laptop.
Have
Have a good night.
Okay, thanks.
Take care.
Good night.